Exclusive contract for Feilu Novel Network Novel. Honghuang. I really don't have a choice. Purple Xian travels through the wilderness and gains a divine level selection system. Option 1. Master of the Tongtian Sect, reward. 1 Incense Fire Divine Position on the Divine List, Eternal Trap Divine List. Option 2. Master the Primitive Heavenly Sovereign, reward. 1 Western Bodhisattva quota, become a Western Bodhisattva. Option 3. Master Taishang Lao Jun, reward. A chance to become a saint. Zixuan said, tell me, do I have a choice? I really don't have a choice. Tai Shang Lao Jun, not bad, what I said is absolutely right. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Divine Choice, Encounter Duobao by Chance. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The vast and desolate land. A young Taoist wearing a light purple Taoist robe with purple hair and eyes walked on the vast land. The young Taoist has sword eyebrows and starry eyes, holding a purple lotus painting in his hand. The purple Taoist robe is adorned with a purple lotus flower, which looks ethereal and extraordinary. Suddenly, a roar came from afar. Tens of thousands of miles away, several burly and ferocious-looking men, holding a rough stone tool in their hands, are hunting several huge eagle-ferocious birds. These burly men, with a ferocious appearance and towering figures like mountain veins, are immediately swayed by the boundless spiritual energy, emitting astonishing blood. And those few eagle-like ferocious birds are not weak either, and their body size is also very huge. Compared with the Han dynasty, they are not too much, as huge as mountain veins, emitting an astonishing ferocious aura. Seeing such a scene, the young Taoist didn't hesitate and walked straight towards the distance. Ah, this world is too difficult to navigate. How long has it been since the dragon Honghuang calamity passed, and it seems that many great powers have emerged. Is it possible that the next calamity will come again? The young Taoist Zixuan murmured, feeling 1,000 emotions in his heart. Since he crossed over, Zixuan has seen such struggles and battles many times. Yes, Zixuan also came through time travel. For some reason, when he woke up, he actually traveled to the wasteland and had experienced the fierce beast calamity in the Dragon Han calamity, a wasteland waiting to be revived. After experiencing these two calamities, the vast land fell into a state of desolation. After several rounds of recovery, the vast land slowly regained vitality. To be honest, at the beginning, Zixuan was very happy because coming to the vast land meant various opportunities, and immortality could be easily achieved. But soon, Zixuan couldn't be happy because his heal was too low. In this life, Zixuan is a purple lotus that transforms into a shape. Of course, Zixuan, this purple lotus, has nothing to do with the legendary chaos green lotus. Although it is naturally raised and considered an innate creature, it is just an ordinary purple lotus plant. His footsteps are incomparable to those legendary powers such as Pangu Sanqing and Emperor Juntai. If we rank the heal of innate beings, such as Pangu Sanqing and Emperor Juntai, they can be considered top-notch. So Zixuan's followers can be considered the lowest level, barely occupying the spot of innate beings. According to Zixuan's calculation, if there are no unexpected circumstances, Tai Jingxian should be his limit. If you are lucky, perhaps you can break through to De Luo Jin Xian, jump out of the 3 realms, not within the 5 elements, and become a carefree immortal. It can be said that this is Zixuan's goal. For this reason, when traveling through the vast land, if encountering any large-scale struggles, Zixuan would directly avoid them to avoid being drawn into them. Just like the situation just now, those are several great witches of the witch race, hunting some big monsters. If Zixuan didn't feel wrong, those few big demons were all in the realm of the Golden Immortal. This realm is similar to that of Zixuan, but it is hunted as food. Zixuan will not seek to suffer, and avoiding it from a distance is the right path. Yes, Zixuan is now in the realm of the Golden Immortal. After several elemental meetings of Long Han Liangjia, Zixuan finally transformed and emerged. After a long period of cultivation, he successfully entered the realm of the Golden Immortal realm a while ago. The Golden Immortal realm, in this vast land, is not considered weak anymore. It is stronger than many other creatures, but Purple Xian is very clear that there are still many strong ones above him. For example, the Tai Golden Immortal above the Golden Immortal, the realm of the Daoyuo Golden Immortal, and even the realm of the Sage above. For this reason, when there was a terrifying struggle, Zixuan wouldn't approach at all. Of course, when he discovers the opportunity, Zixuan will still try to fight for it a bit. Unless a strong person really takes action, Zixuan will choose to give up and run away directly. And now, Zixuan is traveling through the wilderness, hoping to obtain some treasures and prepare for future disasters. Hey, if there were a system, I wouldn't have been taking it step by step. Zixuan sighed in his heart. As a traveler, the system is standard, but unfortunately, he has not awakened the system after so many years of being in the wilderness. With a sigh, the meaningless distractions were dispelled, and the spiritual energy was controlled to fly away. Purple Xian directly distanced himself from the struggle between the Great Witch and the Great Demon. After traveling for more than 10 years, it wasn't until one day that Zixuan stopped walking. That's where. Purple Xian's eyes turned slightly, staring at a big mountain not far away. He vaguely saw a divine light emanating from the mountains, as if a treasure was about to be born. Without any hesitation, Zixuan quickly arrived at the mountain where the divine light was spreading, and suddenly found a spiritual plant growing at the top of the mountain, bearing a red fruit. The fruit is red in color, shaped like a dragon or fish, with a dragon head and a fish tail, which looks somewhat strange. Yulong fruit, used for shaping, can barely be considered a good spiritual fruit. Zixuan murmured. Yulong fruit, as the name suggests, leaps over the gate of the dragon and has the effect of transforming. It belongs to the intermediate spiritual fruit and can help creatures that have not yet transformed transform. However, for Zixuan, the fish dragon fruit is not of much use, after all, he has already transformed. However, it is also a good spiritual fruit that can at least increase one's skill for thousands of years. Zixuan naturally won't miss it, so Zixuan is preparing to pick it. Boom boom. At this moment, a tremor came from the nearby mountain range. A huge hole broke open, and a purple gold rat-like creature, like a mountain vein, came directly to the vicinity of Zixuan. The giant mouse creature saw the fish dragon fruit next to Zixuan and couldn't open its eyes, staring closely at the fish dragon fruit. This is the spiritual fruit used for transformation, which has great attraction to creatures like it that have not yet transformed. But after sensing the aura of Purple Xian, the giant mouse creatures dared not step forward. If you want this spiritual fruit, it's not possible. This is what I found first. Zixuan smiled calmly and looked at the giant mouse creature, saying. Although this fish dragon fruit is not an important treasure for Zixuan, he wouldn't be so casual and let go of the treasure he found. On the other hand, the giant mouse creatures emit the aura of Taishang Lao Jun, which is somewhat different from Zixuan. This is also the reason why giant mouse creatures want to obtain fish dragon fruit, but they dare not step forward. But before Zixuan could finish speaking, a mechanical sound appeared in Zixuan's mind. Detected selectable events, divine level selection system binding. Ding. Binding completed, detected selectable events, please host to make a selection. Option 1. Give the fish dragon fruit to Duobao, reward. 1 low-level spirit fruit. Option 2. Seize the fish dragon fruit. Reward. A lower grade postnatal spiritual treasure. Option 3. Trade with Yulong fruit and Duobao, reward. 1 chaos green lotus seed, can enhance qualifications. Chapter 2. No choice, Chaos Lotus. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Has my system finally arrived? Great. In the depths of Zixuan's eyes, an excited light appeared. He waited for so long, and finally the system appeared. What is his system? It's a divine level selection system that allows you to make choices and receive different rewards. Okay, it's also a relatively familiar system, but what are the rewards for these three choices? The reward for the first option is a low-level spiritual fruit. What kind of ghost is this? Is this the reward for option 1? You should know that Yulong fruit is considered an intermediate spiritual fruit, but the result of offering it is to get a low-level spiritual fruit, which is even worse. Only a fool would choose this option. Wait, Taoist Duobao. The little mouse in front of me is the future leader of the Tongtian Sect, Duobao Taoist. Zixuan was somewhat surprised. He didn't expect that the mouse he encountered would actually be the future Duobao Taoist. However, offering Yulong fruit was not a good option for Zixuan, so Zixuan did not hesitate to give up option 1. As for the second option, it is to snatch the fish dragon fruit and obtain a lower-grade postnatal spirit treasure. Although Zixuan doesn't have many spiritual treasures in his hands, over the years, he has traveled through the vast land and still gained some rewards. At present, Zixuan still has 1 or 2 acquired spiritual treasures to some extent. For Zixuan, the lower-grade Tianling treasure does not have much attraction. And after grabbing it, it will definitely be hated by Duobao, obviously not a good choice. But the third option is different. The reward for the third option is actually a lotus seed from Chaos Qinglian. This is a good thing. You should know that the chaotic Qinglian army has been dissolved, transformed into various treasures, and a few lotus seeds have also scattered throughout the country. A lotus seed fell to the western land and transformed into a 12-grade merit golden lotus. A lotus seed fell into the sea of blood in the Styx River and transformed into a 12-grade fiery red lotus. A lotus seed fell into the abyss of darkness and transformed into a 12-grade black lotus that destroyed the world. Every treasure transformed from a lotus seed is a top-notch innate spiritual treasure. Now there is a lotus seed appearing in front of Zixuan, how could he miss it? The most important point is that according to the system description, this chaotic green lotus seed seems to be able to enhance Zixuan's qualifications, which is simply not too good. You should know that Zixuan's biggest distress is that she is too low on her feet. There is an opportunity to enhance one's qualifications, and Zixuan will definitely not miss it. Do we still need to choose this? There's no choice at all. System, I'll choose 3. Zixuan secretly thought to herself, responding to the 3 choices of the system. He chooses 3 and trades with Duobao. Ding! Congratulations to the host for making a choice and obtaining a Chaos Green Lotus Seed. It has been stored in the system space and can be extracted at any time. The sound of the system sounded, and a happy expression appeared on Zixuan's face. I have a lotus seed from Chaos Qinglian. This fish dragon fruit is the treasure I found first, but it seems that your cultivation is not easy. If you can take out the spiritual treasure I want, I can trade it with you and give you the fish dragon fruit. Zixuan looked at Duobao and said to him. Squeak. A hint of joy flashed in Duobao's eyes, he nodded repeatedly, and then opened his huge mouth, as if there was a space in his mouth. Duobao reached out his paw and took out a black and white ancient mirror from the world in his mouth. Duobao felt a little reluctant and seemed to feel a bit distressed, but still handed the black and white ancient mirror to Zixuan. I'll go, Xiantian Lingbao. Good guy, I didn't expect Duobao to even have this kind of thing. Zixuan's eyebrows twitched slightly, and there was a hint of surprise in her eyes. Although he didn't know the purpose of this ancient mirror, Zixuan wouldn't mistake the aura of the innate spiritual treasure. This is an innate spiritual treasure. And looking at Duobao's reluctant appearance, this treasure should not be a low-level thing. It seems that he chose to trade with Duobao and did the right thing. This fish dragon fruit is yours now. Zixuan took the black and white ancient mirror and then withdrew from the mountain top, leaving the location of Yulong fruit. Upon seeing this, Duobao felt a hint of excitement in his eyes and quickly approached Yulongguo. He opened his huge mouth and swallowed Yulongguo in one gulp, including the tree belt. For a moment, Duobao's aura rapidly changed and became high, seemingly crazily rising. Zixuan ignored Duobao, but retreated a distance and infused his spiritual power into the black and white ancient mirror to see how it worked. The reincarnation mirror contains an innate aura of reincarnation, and is a top-quality innate spiritual treasure. Quickly, Zixuan knew the true face of the black and white ancient mirror, and a hint of joy flashed in her eyes. This is a good thing. It's a top-quality innate spiritual treasure, and it contains a breath of innate reincarnation. It's considered a top-quality treasure. How could Zixuan not be pleased? At this point, Zixuan immediately put away the reincarnation mirror and then focused his gaze on the system. System, you said that the lotus seeds of chaos Qinglian can help me improve my qualifications. What should I do? Zixuan secretly thought to himself and directly asked the system, wanting to know how chaos Qinglian lotus seed can improve its qualifications. This is what he is most concerned about. Simply swallow the lotus seeds to merge. The sound of the system is ringing in the purple mysterious brain sea. At this moment, Zixuan flipped his palm and a crystal-clear lotus seed appeared in his hand, like in flawless jade, emitting a mysterious Taoist charm. This is exactly the lotus seed of the chaotic green lotus that was rewarded. Without any hesitation, Zixuan swallowed this lotus seed directly. In an instant, the lotus seed melted inside the purple Xian body and began to merge with it. At this moment, Zixuan was also crazily transforming. Boom boom. The boundless aura of calamity converged in the air, transforming into a cloud of calamity for 3,000 miles. Thunder fell down from all directions and struck down Duobao, awakening purple Xian. Zixuan understood that this was Duobao crossing the calamity of transformation. In order to avoid being affected by Duobao's thunder wave, Zixuan's figure flashed and disappeared directly to the spot. But 5,000 miles away, Zixuan stopped. Because he is currently merging the lotus seeds of the chaotic green lotus, it is really inconvenient to move. A wave of drowsiness struck, and Zixuan seemed to feel like she was about to fall into a deep sleep. However, before falling into a deep sleep, Zixuan threw out the purple lotus in his arms and formed a large formation, with white smoke enveloping the mountain range where Zixuan was located. This is Zixuan's companion spiritual treasure, the purple lotus diagram. It belongs to the lower grade innate spiritual treasure. Although it has no attack power, it can transform into a large formation, with the effect of covering up body shape and breath, resisting enemy attacks, and protecting oneself. For a moment, Zixuan also fell into enlightenment and quickly fused this lotus seed of chaos Qinglian. Chapter 3. Sanqing shock, purple qi comes from the east. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 3. Sanqing shock, purple qi coming from the east for 30,000 miles. Because of the lotus seed that fused with the chaotic green lotus, Zixuan also fell into a deep sleep. At the same time, hundreds of thousands of miles away, three extraordinary figures are traveling together in the vast land. The leader is an elderly man dressed in a Taoist robe, with white hair and beard, and a kind and peaceful appearance. The middle one is a middle-aged man with white hair parted in the middle and a dignified appearance. Next to him is a young man with black hair and eyes, with a masculine and handsome appearance. This is exactly Pangu Sanqing, Taishang Laozi, Yuanshi Tianzuan, and Tongtian Sect leader. Suddenly, if the leader of the Tongtian Sect felt something, he looked towards the direction where Duobao and Zixuan were located. My two brothers, I have a feeling that there is a master-disciple relationship that belongs to me in that direction. The leader of the Tongtian Sect bowed and said to Taishang Laozi and Yuanshi Tianzuan. He felt something in his heart, as if there was a connection between master and disciple, and was ready to go and take a look. Xuan, let's go together. Taishang Laojun nodded and said. Since their transformation, Sanqing has always been inseparable, so they are prepared to accompany Tongtian to go together. At this point, the three of them set off straight towards the direction where Purple Xian and Duobao were located. The speed of Sanqing is naturally extremely fast, and for the three of them, the distance of hundreds of thousands of miles is only a moment. Amidst the fleeting light and shadows, Sanqing quickly arrived near the mountain range where Duobao and Zixuan were located, and stopped 3,000 miles away from the cover of the calamity. Looking at Duobao, who is on the mountaintop, resisting the calamity and striving to transform, there is a hint of joy in the eyes of Master Tongtian. Born in a spiritual form, with a cloud of calamity spanning 3,000 miles, you are a good follower and can be my disciple. Two brothers, can you help me bear witness? If this little guy can survive the calamity of transformation, I will take him as my disciple. Looking at Duobao amidst the clouds of calamity, the leader of the Tongtian Sect felt a sense of satisfaction, and a hint of satisfaction appeared in his eyes. Just the transformation of the calamity, there is a cloud of calamity that spans 3,000 miles, which can be considered a great companion among innate beings. It is rare for the leader of the Tongtian Sect to have the heart to accept disciples. If Duobao can successfully transform, he can indeed accept Duobao and become his first disciple. This is a good thing. On Laozi's calm face, a faint smile appeared, and Yuanshi Tianzuan also nodded slightly to congratulate Tongtian. After all, this little guy has a good foundation, making Tongtian show a disciple is also a good choice. Of course, for Taishang Laojun and Yuanshi Tianzun, they didn't even have the idea of accepting apprentices yet, they were just celebrating to the heavens. Boom boom. Time slowly passes, 10 years pass by in a hurry, and Duobao's crossing of the calamity has also reached its final moment. Resisting the last thunderbolt, Duobao's figure changed and slowly transformed into a chubby young man. This is exactly the Taoist of Duobao, and the aura on Duobao has successfully broken through the imprisonment of Tai Shang, promoted to the realm of Golden Immortal, and even broke through one after another, directly promoted to the mid-level realm of Golden Immortal. Not bad, during the period of transformation, I also broke through 2 levels, and my footwork is considered top-notch. Little one, I am the top pure of Pangu's 3 cleanliness. Would you be willing to become my first disciple? The leader of the Tongtian Sect nodded in satisfaction and stepped out, crossing 3,000 miles in an instant to come directly to Duobao. The breath of the great Luo Golden Immortal emanated and said to Duobao. Pangu Sanqing. The Luo Jingxian. Little Duobao is willing. Originally, Duobao was still immersed in the joy of breakthrough. After hearing the words of the Tongtian Sect leader, he was slightly stunned. But in the blink of an eye, Duobao was instantly overjoyed and repeatedly kowtowed to pay his respects. This can be considered a good opportunity for him. Longhan Liang's calamity has passed, and a new generation of great power has gradually emerged. The name of Pangu Sanqing has also gradually spread on the vast land, and Duobao has naturally heard of the name of Pangu Sanqing. Tongtian wants to take him as his disciple, which is definitely a great opportunity for Duobao. So Duobao was so happy and quickly agreed. Very good, Duobao. From today on, you will be my first disciple. Tongtian nodded in satisfaction and said to Duobao. But Tongtian's words were not yet finished, and from 5,000 miles away, suddenly came a violent wave of breath. Spiritual power surges rapidly, transforming into a huge spiritual vortex, constantly converging into a mountain range 5,000 miles away. That's exactly the direction where Zixuan is. At this moment. I've looked around, I didn't expect anyone else to be here. Taishang Laojun was slightly surprised. Just now, when they arrived at Sanqing, their attention was focused on Duobao who had crossed the tribulation. In addition, Purple Xian had a hidden aura of the purple lotus diagram, so they did not notice her existence at the first time. Until now, when there is a violent fluctuation in spiritual energy, they only realized the abnormality. However, at this moment, Zixuan had no intention of paying attention to external affairs. Purple Xian directly removed the purple lotus diagram, allowing endless spiritual energy to converge towards him, breathing into his fingertips, all absorbed into his body. The fusion of purple Xian and lotus seed has reached its final moment. At a certain moment, Zixuan's aura completely changed, and the mysterious aura was released from Zixuan's body. For a moment, a strange phenomenon appeared in heaven and earth, and the innate purple energy instantly converged above the purple Xian, transforming into boundless purple clouds for tens of thousands of miles. This is the purple aura that comes from the east for 30,000 miles. With such a strong backbone, it can be said to be the best of the best. At this moment, not to mention the leader of the Tongtian Sect, even Taishang Laojun and Yuan Shitianzuan were a bit uneasy, looking at Zixuan with a shocked expression on their faces. Because it's the first time they've seen that a person's breakthrough can bring in innate purple energy for 30,000 miles. This is not something that ordinary innate beings can do. Such a bone, at least at their level of existence. That is to say, the young man in front of me is not inferior to them. If we can accept them as apprentices, we can definitely inherit their legacy. For a moment, there was a glimmer of light in Sanqing's eyes. The three of them remained silent, quietly watching Zixuan's transformation. Duobao was a bit puzzled and didn't know why the leader of the Tongtian Sect ignored him. Didn't you say you wanted to take him as an apprentice? Why aren't you talking now? However, no one answered Duobao's doubts. Because now the attention of Taishang Laojun, Yuan Shitianzuan, and Tongtian Sect leader is all focused on Zixuan, constantly paying attention to her changes. Chapter 4. The Three Cleans Competition. Everyone wants to accept apprentices. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The Three Cleans Competition. Everyone wants to accept apprentices. At this time, Zixuan, due to the fusion of the lotus seeds of chaos Qinglian and the improvement of her own qualifications, attracted the attention of Sanqing. Zixuan was unaware of this matter, as his transformation had reached the most critical moment. All of Zixuan's thoughts were focused on his own transformation. Originally, Zixuan was an incarnation of a purple lotus, which perfectly matched the chaotic green lotus seed. With the help of the system, Zixuan fused the lotus seeds of chaos Qinglian without encountering any difficulties. It can even be said that the integration went very smoothly this time. Just as purple Xian was about to completely merge with the lotus seeds and complete the transformation, mutation appeared. Or rather, the reincarnation mirror he extorted from Duobao has encountered an abnormal situation. I don't know if it was due to the influence of Zixuan that the innate cycle energy in the reincarnation mirror broke through the mirror and merged directly into Zixuan's body. The lotus seeds of chaos Qinglian are originally easily influenced. The lotus seeds that fall into the Sea of Blood in the Styx River merge the karmic power of the Sea of Blood and transform into the 12-grade fire red lotus. The lotus seed that fell into the abyss of darkness, stained with the innate dark energy, transformed into a 12-grade black lotus that destroyed the world. And now, the lotus seeds inside Zixuan's body merge with the innate cycle energy, instantly transforming into the 12th grade cycle lotus, and then merging into Zixuan's purple lotus body. In an instant, the origin of Zixuan went directly from an ordinary purple lotus to a 12th-grade reincarnation purple lotus. Zixuan's physique has directly transformed from an ordinary innate Tao body to an innate cycle of Zillion Tao body. This is the change of Zixuan. The 12-rank reincarnation purple lotus, like other 12-rank lotus terraces, is a top-notch innate spiritual treasure. Now integrating with Zixuan, it is equivalent to Zixuan becoming this 12th grade lotus platform, like the incarnation of the 12th grade reincarnation purple lotus, possessing all the qualifications of the 12th grade reincarnation purple lotus. For Zixuan, this is simply a heavenly blessing. The foundation of Zixuan goes directly from the lowest level to the top level, becoming a top-notch innate creature. It can be said that the foundation of Zixuan has now reached the top level, no different from Sanqing and others. In this way, Zixuan is also qualified to pursue the supreme realm. It can be said that no one can know the joy in Zixuan's heart at this moment. However, Zixuan was not in the mood to be happy at this moment because he had more important things to do. That is to take advantage of this fusion opportunity to quickly refine spiritual energy and enhance one's own realm. At this point of contemplation, Zixuan continuously operated the spiritual power inside her body, rapidly refining the obtained power. Between breathing and exhaling, a large amount of innate spiritual energy continuously converged into Zixuan's body. Even the 30,000-mile innate purple qi in the sky was absorbed into Zixuan's body through her breathing and breathing. The thundering sound came from Zixuan's body. The congenital purple qi was quickly refined in Zixuan's body, which was refined into essence, and then dispersed to all parts of the body, rapidly expanding Zixuan's strength. The realm of purple Xian is also rapidly improving. Mid-Golden Immortal Period. Jingxian Late Stage. Jin Xian is perfect. Starting from the early stage of the Golden Immortal, he broke through 3 levels in a row until his realm reached the perfect level of the Golden Immortal, and his aura gradually stabilized. Finally, Zixuan's realm was completely stabilized in the perfect realm of the Golden Immortal, only a thin line away from Tai Golden Immortal. Zixuan's cultivation has just come to an end, slowly opening his eyes. At this moment, Zixuan realized that there were 3 extraordinary figures standing in front of him, discussing with him. The purple aura comes from 30,000 miles to the east. Such qualifications are not only top-notch, they are simply the best of the best, on par with my brother's 3. Breaking through 3 levels in a row, from the early stage of being a Golden Immortal to being promoted directly to the perfect Golden Immortal, even more amazing than Duobao. Such qualifications and roots are the most suitable for a person to inherit their legacy. Sanqing surrounded Zixuan, looking at her in shock. You can be favored by the leader of the Tongtian Sect. If you want to be accepted as your first disciple, there is no need to say much about Duobao's qualifications. But compared to Zixuan, the difference between the two is simply not too big. It can be said that Sanqing's heart couldn't help but be moved by the idea of accepting an apprentice. In fact, they did the same. Little brother, I am the heavenly emperor of Pangu's 3 cleanliness. Today, I am meeting you. We had a master-disciple relationship before. Would you be willing to worship me as your teacher and become my first disciple? Seeing Zixuan wake up, the leader of the Tongtian Sect spoke up first, took a step forward, with a smile on his face, and said to Zixuan. Duobao, who is not far away, is almost dumbfounded. Didn't you say you wanted to take him as the head disciple? Why did you say that to another person in the blink of an eye, and this person is still Zixuan? Duobao suddenly felt depressed. But the leader of the Tongtian Sect didn't pay attention to Duobao, but watched helplessly as Zixuan waited for her reply. Just kidding, he did come to collect his apprentices. But from the vision just now, isn't the difference between Duobao and Zixuan already very obvious? The leader of the Tongtian Sect suddenly felt that the master-disciple relationship he sensed should have fallen on Zixuan, not Duobao. Tongtian, you're not right. Didn't you just say that you wanted to take Duobao as your leader? How can you go back and forth? Yuanshi Tianzuan walked out, smiled calmly, and said to the leader of the Tongtian Sect. Duobao couldn't help but cast a grateful glance at Yuanshi Tianzuan. Still, this future master is reliable and actually helped him speak up. But before Duobao could express his gratitude to Yuanshi Tianzuan turned around and smiled at Zixuan. I am different. I am the beginning of the Yuqing era of Pangu's Sanqing and currently have no disciples. If you are willing to join my sect, can you be my eldest disciple? Are you willing? Upon hearing the words of Yuanshi Tianzuan, Duobao became depressed again. The primordial heavenly sovereign of emotions is not speaking for him, but also wants to take Zixuan as his disciple. Second brother, you've gone too far. I spoke first. The leader of the Tongtian Sect looked at the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord with some dissatisfaction. He didn't expect that the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord would be so incompetent and compete with him for disciples. Third brother, you can't say that. I do feel that there is a master-disciple relationship between me and him, and he hasn't worshipped you as his teacher. I think we can still fight for it. Yuanshi Tianzun smiled and said, with a hint of cunning in his eyes, without giving in at all. Chapter 5. There's no other choice, the chance to become a saint. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Due to the fusion of the Lotus seeds of Chaos Qinglian, Zixuan's qualifications skyrocketed. Now Zixuan's qualifications can be considered as stepping into the ranks of top innate creatures. The three brothers of Sanqing are basically followers of this level. For the current vast land, most of those who have such followers have become great powers and have their own paths. Cultivators like Zixuan, who have just started, are extremely rare. Yes, for Sanqing, Jin Xian is just starting out. So it was the leader of the Tongtian Sect and the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord who came up with the idea of accepting disciples. Because only disciples who are so obedient can fully inherit their legacy, and even carry it forward. For this reason, Yuanshi Tianzun disregarded his brotherhood and wanted to compete with the leader of the Tongtian Sect for his disciple. The leader of the Tongtian Sect was a bit depressed and almost ready to take action. He was just concerned about brotherly relationships and didn't say anything harsh. Big brother, are you saying, second brother, too much? That was originally what I said first. The leader of the Tongtian Sect turned his head to look at Laozi Taiching and wanted to ask him to make a decision and seek justice for him. Two brothers, why harm your brotherhood over this matter? Why not let this little brother choose for himself? Taishang Laojun said calmly, then smiled and looked at Zixuan. Of course, little brother, you can also choose me. I am the top Taoist of the three cleans, and I have never taken any disciples. If you become my disciple, then you will be the first disciple of Pangus Sanqing, and the resources of Kunlun Mountain will be at your disposal. Upon hearing the words of Taishang Laojun, Yuanshi Tianzun and Tongtian Sect leader suddenly turned black. This guy is so shameless, he can even say that. Surprisingly, even the head disciple of Pangus Sanqing has moved out. But that's also true, after all, his Taiching is the leader of the Sanqing, and his disciples are naturally the first disciples of the Sanqing. It's just that these words are a bit shameless. Big brother, you're going too far. Aren't you presiding over justice for us? Why did you also say you wanted to take our apprentices? The primordial heavenly master and the master of the Tongtian Sect were feeling a bit depressed and their faces were pitch black. They originally wanted to invite Taishang Laojun to preside over justice for the two of them. Unexpectedly, Taishang Laojun also had the idea of accepting disciples and even said such things. Two wise brothers, you just said that before accepting my apprenticeship, everything has not been decided yet. Why can't I accept my apprenticeship? Taishang Laojun smiled and said, leaving Yuanshi Tianzun speechless. Because he was just using these words to criticize the leader of the Tongtian Sect, but unexpectedly, he was used by Taishang Laojun to squeeze him. So Yuanshi Tianzun had nothing to say and couldn't say anything else for a moment. Alright, two wise brothers, as I just said, let this little brother make a good choice. Young brother, you must have seen it too. All three of my brothers are willing to accept you as their disciple. Would you be willing to do so? We can guarantee that you will not be forced to make a choice, and there is no need to worry about the consequences of not making a choice. Even if you choose one person, the other two will not do anything to you. My three brothers still have this kind of magnanimity. Taishang Laojun just smiled calmly and said to Zixuan. At this moment, Zixuan was still a bit dizzy. He didn't expect that when he woke up, Sanqing appeared in front of him, and everyone was fighting for him, wanting to take him as his disciple. When did he become so popular? However, this also indicates that Zixuan's qualifications have indeed been greatly improved, to the point where even Sanqing was surprised and had the idea of cherishing talent. If it were in the past, this would not have happened. Ding! A special selection event has been detected, which is related to the future development path. Please be cautious when making your choice. Special Choice 1. Master Tongtian, Reward. 1 Incense and Fire Divine Position on the Divine Sealing List, forever trapped in the Divine Sealing List in the future. Special Option 2. Primitive Worship, Reward. 1 Western Bodhisattva quota, to settle in the Western Buddhist land in the future. Special Choice 3. Apprentice Laozi, Reward. A chance to become a saint. Zixuan said, Looking at these three options, Zixuan felt a bit speechless. What the hell are these options? The reward for the first option is a title of incense and fire god on the list of gods. That is to say, after choosing this option, one will be trapped on the list of gods and become one of the incense and fire gods in the heavenly court, forever losing their freedom and unable to leave the list of gods. The reward for the second option is similar to the first option. Choosing option 2, one will be captured by the 2 Western Buddhas and become a Western Bodhisattva in the future, which is obviously not a good thing. The rewards for these 2 options seem to be not rewards, but punishments. Zixuan rose and said helplessly. This is not a reward at all, but a punishment. As for the third option, it directly rewards a chance to become a saint. Becoming a saint. This is the dream of all those who practice in the wilderness, and the result appears in front of Zixuan, easily obtainable with just a gentle nod of his head. How could Zixuan miss such an opportunity? In this way, does he still need to think? How to choose 2 options with punitive rewards and a huge reward? Do you need to say more? He didn't have to choose at all. System, I choose 3. Without any hesitation, Zixuan said directly to the system in his heart. He chose 3, ding. Congratulations to the host for making a choice and obtaining information on the location of a Honghuang purple chi. The sound of the system appears. Zixuan was somewhat surprised, not realizing that what he had obtained was the location information of a Honghuang purple chi. No wonder it's a chance to become a saint, because the Honghuang purple chi is a necessary treasure for becoming a saint. As long as you want to become a saint of the heavenly way, you cannot escape the Honghuang purple chi. Don't you see, the future emperors, including Tai and Kunlun Mingi, fought fiercely to seize the Honghuang purple chi, even destroying the Red Cloud ancestor. It is evident how precious the Honghuang purple chi is. Now Zixuan only needs to make a choice and directly obtain information about the location of Honghuang purple chi. This feeling is like eating popsicles during dog days, it's really not too refreshing. The only regret is that this is only information about the location of the Honghuang purple chi, not the true Honghuang purple chi. But as long as you know where the Honghuang purple chi is, Zixuan can retrieve it at any time, which is also a good result. Zixuan is very satisfied. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, various requests. Chapter 6. Apprentice Laozi, Away from the Ground Flame Light. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Little brother, how have you considered it? Watching Zixuan fall into contemplation, Sanqing quietly looks at Zixuan, waiting for her answer. In fact, Zixuan is communicating with the system and making his choice. However, during this process, Zixuan also received 3 powerful voices and made solemn promises. To be honest, Zixuan's eyes turned red as she listened. You should know that Laozi from Taishang almost took out the Honghuang Linglong Pagoda, which is the treasure of merit and virtue. Little Zixuan has made a decision. I hope to learn from you. Would you like me to be your disciple? Zixuan looked at Taishang Laozi and bowed to him. As soon as this sentence was spoken, a hint of joy appeared in the eyes of Taishang Laojun, while the faces of Yuan Shi Tianzun and Tongtian Sect leader stiffened, with a hint of displeasure in their eyes. They didn't expect that Zixuan would ultimately choose to apprentice to Laozi Taiching. He, good disciple, get up quickly. From now on, you will be my eldest disciple and also the first disciple of Sanqing. Laozi Taiching lifted Zixuan and looked at her with joy. Then he flipped his hand and a small red flag appeared directly in his hand. This ground flame flag, even if it's a teacher's gift for you. Taishang Laojun smiled and said, handing the Xianhong flag in his hand directly to Zixuan. Teacher Xie. Zixuan's eyes lit up and he quickly took the Xianhong flag. Li Di Yen Guang flag, one of the innate 5-element flags, is an excellent innate spiritual treasure with the effects of confusing yin and yang, reversing the 5 elements, avoiding evil spirits, and preventing all laws from invading. It can be said that holding the ground flame flag, Zixuan does not need to worry about any attacks, and can even attack enemies, confusing yin and yang, and reversing the 5 elements. In fact, Zixuan combines the characteristics of the 12th grade Reincarnation Purple Lotus and possesses all the unique defensive power of the 12th grade Reincarnation Purple Lotus platform. Adding 2 top-notch defense treasures, it's like a thick turtle shell, probably no one can touch Purple Xian anymore. This sense of security is simply overwhelming. Do you have it? Moreover, according to legend, the innate 5-element flags are all top-notch innate spiritual treasures. Once the 5 flags are gathered, they can be transformed into innate treasures. For Zixuan, this is the biggest gain. After all, the innate treasure is considered the top treasure in the wilderness. In the later stage, it is basically in the hands of saints, and even if it doesn't go well, it is still in the hands of top quasi-saints. Now there is a chance to obtain 1/5 of the innate treasures, which is the most joyful thing. It seems that I made the right decision to become a disciple of Taishang Laojun. This teacher is really generous in his actions. With just one move, he has the potential to become a top-notch innate spiritual treasure. This kind of harvest is simply more precious than Zixuan's years of hard work. Regarding this, Taishang Laojun just smiled indifferently. Because for him, receiving a good disciple who can inherit his legacy is more important than anything else. And he is the latest to speak up among the 3 cleans, so he doesn't have an advantage. As a result, Zixuan chose him directly among the 3 brothers, so he naturally wouldn't be stingy. Come, disciple. I have met 2 senior uncles. This is your 2nd senior uncle, Yuqing Yuanshi, and this is your 3rd senior uncle, Sanqing Tongtian. Taishang Laojun smiled and said, introduce the other 2 of Sanqing to Zixuan. Zixuan has seen 2nd senior uncle, 3rd senior uncle. Purple Xian arched his hand and bowed to the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord and the Tongtian Sect leader. There was naturally no smile on their faces regarding this, but they didn't want to tear their skin just to take in the apprentice. Instead, they nodded slightly at Zixuan. After all, since its inception, Sanqing has always been working together with one heart and one mind. Although the incident of accepting apprentices may have caused some unpleasantness, it has been agreed that there will be no falling out due to this matter. Zixuan, I hope you don't regret your current choice in the future. Big Brother has a calm temperament and is naturally inactive. He probably won't pay too much attention to worldly affairs, and he probably won't be too focused on teaching his disciples. Although Sanqing is not likely to fall out over the sake of accepting disciples, Yuanshi Tianzuan has some cold words. After all, the personality of Yuanshi Tianzuan is like this. He is arrogant but also has a dark heart and likes face. Zixuan did not choose him, so a few cold words are inevitable. You can rest assured that since I have taken Zixuan as my disciple, I will naturally devote myself to teaching him. Taishang Laojun said calmly, leaving Yuanshi Tianzun speechless. As for the leader of the Tongtian Sect, he didn't say anything cold, just a bit regretful. He sighed that Zixuan didn't worship him as his teacher. After all, he was the first one to admire Zixuan. Regarding this, Zixuan pretended not to know and stared at the two with big eyes. Sanqing's grudges are entangled, so he won't get involved as a junior. He only wants one thing now. Meeting gift, big brother. You are Sanqing. As the first disciple of Sanqing, shouldn't I have a meeting ceremony? I don't want too many, just a few innate spiritual roots to rinse my mouth, either a peach tree or a yellow plum, or a few innate treasures. I won't choose. Zixuan said roast in her heart, but she would not say it foolishly. She just stared at them with big eyes and a cute face. The leader of the Tongtian Sect felt a bit embarrassed when he saw it. He touched his nose, flipped his hand, and directly took out a sword surrounded by purple and blue electric rays. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, various requests. Chapter 7. Dragon and Phoenix's Ambition for Gold, 3 Flavors of True Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Cough cough, this is the purple-green treasure sword. You can use it temporarily, not counting as the meeting gift. You can add the meeting gift when senior uncle finds a better one. Master Tongtian touched his nose and awkwardly said, giving the purple-green sword to Zixuan. The purple-green treasure sword belongs to the lower-grade innate spiritual treasure. The sword body is surrounded by a purple-blue dual-color electric light, which can emit dual-color lightning. It also has 10 innate prohibitions inside, making it a good treasure among the lower-grade innate spiritual treasures. But when the leader of the Tongtian Sect took out this spiritual treasure, he felt a bit embarrassed. Because he is Pangu Sanqing, the treasure he brought out is actually inferior, which makes Tongtian feel a bit embarrassed. In addition, just now his elder brother took out the top-quality innate spiritual treasure's ground flame light flag with just one move. In contrast, his purple-blue sword appears somewhat insignificant. But there's no other way. Although Pangu Sanqing has already established some reputation on the vast land, there aren't many treasures on their bodies. Because after the Longhan Rebellion, Hongjun Patriarch searched and plundered the vast land, and most of the treasures fell into Hongjun Patriarch's hands. This is also the reason why in the future, Hongjun Ancestor divided the treasure rock and directly took out a bunch of innate spiritual treasures. At this time, most of the innate spiritual treasures on the vast land have already fallen into the hands of Hongjun Patriarch. It can be said that even the primordial Heavenly Master, let alone the Heavenly Master, doesn't have many innate spiritual treasures in his pocket. Among the Sanqing, the only one with relatively generous hands should be Laozi Taiqing. Zixuan, this is the dragon and phoenix gold, which can be used to refine weapons. I hope you don't mind, thinking it's just a small thing. Yuanshi Tianzuan said calmly, took out a special piece of purple gold, waved his hand, and flew directly to Zixuan. Although Yuanshi Tianzuan did not bring out the spiritual treasure, what he brought out was a piece of advanced refining material. Dragon and phoenix are like gold, this is the ultimate metal that can only be generated after millions of years, as both dragons and phoenixes fall and are nurtured with their essence at the same time. It can be said that this is a very good advanced refining material. Although there is no comparability with the ground flame flag of Taizi Laozi, it is still a good treasure. Its preciousness is at least slightly higher than that of the purple-blue sword of the Tongtian Sect leader. It can be said that Yuanshi Tianzuan felt like he had regained some face. At least it looks better than Master Tongtian, that's enough. Of course, on the surface, Yuanshi Tianzuan is still a bit humble, after all, this is how he can show his grandeur. Ding! An optional event has been detected, please ask the host to make a choice. Option 1. Thank you to the primordial heavenly sovereign and the master of the Tongtian Sect for bestowing treasures. Reward. 1 Samadhi True Fire Source. Option 2. Accept the treasure, but do not thank the 2. Reward. 1 low-level spiritual fruit. Option 3. Refuse 2 people's gift of treasure and mock their stinginess. Reward. 1 piece of low-level refining material. The sound of the system reappeared in Zixuan's mind. Glancing quickly over the 3 options, Zixuan's mouth twitched slightly. There are 3 more ghostly options. Leaving aside the first option for now, what the hell are the second and third options? Taking the treasure with a carefree attitude and not thanking the 2 for giving it to them is a way of offending others and will definitely reduce their goodwill. As for the third option, refuse to give treasure to 2 people, and even mock their stinginess. It's not that easy to offend people anymore, but to form an animosity with 2 people, and it's still the kind of offending and tying a knot to death. Only a wicked fool would choose such an option. The most important thing is that the rewards for these 2 options are one more bizarre than the other. A low-level spiritual fruit and a low-level refining material. What kind of ghosts are these? They are things that nobody wants even by the roadside. Of course, this statement is a bit exaggerated, but it's not an exaggeration. You should know that in the current wasteland, there is abundant spiritual energy and spiritual plants everywhere. Picking up spiritual fruits when going out may not necessarily be there, but on every mountaintop, there must be various spiritual plants growing, which is not wrong. Another option with no other options, so Zixuan already has the answer, just choose the first option. The 2 senior uncles are willing to bestow treasures, which is Zixuan's honor. How could Zixuan have such thoughts? The kindness of the 2 senior uncles to Zixuan will never be forgotten by Zixuan. Zixuan's gaze was sincere, with a hint of joy and emotion in his eyes. He looked seriously at Yuanshi Tianzuan and Tongtian Sect leader, and said, taking over the dragon and phoenix vainly gold and purple-green treasure sword. Such acting skills are simply perfect movie stars. Ding! Congratulations to the host for making a choice and obtaining a Samadhi true fire source. It has been stored in the system space and can be extracted at any time. The sound of the system appeared, and Zixuan's expression remained unchanged, still looking very sincerely at Yuanshi Tianzuan and Tongtian Sect leader. Okay, I knew you were a good kid, but don't worry, when the senior uncles get good treasures in the future, they will definitely make up for it for you. Master Tongtian looked at Zixuan with emotion, and the appreciation in his eyes became increasingly intense. He is becoming increasingly regretful. If only Zixuan could become his disciple, how wonderful it would be. Master Tongtian sighed, but Yuanshi Tianzuan was a bit depressed. What does it mean to be a martial uncle and 2 people? Why does Tongtian include him? He has already taken out the meeting gift, which is that piece of dragon and phoenix false gold. That's an advanced refining material, a rare treasure. It's more than enough as a welcome gift. But when Master Tongtian said this, he couldn't argue back either. If he did, wouldn't he appear stingy? So Yuanshi Tianzun can only take this dark loss and remain silent. P.S. Seeking Collections, Various Seeks. Chapter 8. Duobao's Grievance, Go to Kunlun. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Good disciple, let's return to Kunlun Mountain, which is exactly the dojo where we wait for Sanqing. Taishang Laojun smiled and said, during this journey through the wilderness, he has gained an apprentice, and Taishang is already satisfied. So I plan to take Zixuan back to Kunlun Mountain and prepare to preach for him, helping him improve his strength. Yuanshi Tianzuan and Tongtian Sect leader also agreed to nod, because Sanqing has always been traveling together, and Taishang is preparing to travel back and forth. Naturally, the 2 of them have no intention of staying outside. At this point, Sanqing is preparing to return to Kunlun Mountain with Zixuan. Master, what about me? Have you forgotten about me? Not far away, a mournful voice came. Duobao looked at the leader of the Tongtian Sect with a gloomy expression on his face. He seriously suspected that the leader had forgotten about him. Didn't he agree to accept him as his disciple? Duobao feels so aggrieved. Cough, of course I won't forget you, Duobao. Come over now, I'll take you back together. Master Tongtian coughed a few times, feeling slightly embarrassed. Wave at Duobao and say. Not to mention the leader of the Tongtian Sect, even Taishang Laojun and Yuan Shitianzuan have forgotten about Duobao. After all, their attention was always on Zixuan just now, and they unconsciously forgot about Duobao. However, the leader of the Tongtian Sect has no intention of leaving Duobao behind. Although not comparable to Purple Xian, Duobao's qualifications are also excellent, and he is obviously a good disciple. Naturally, Tongtian will not miss out. I just don't know why, although I accepted Duobao, Tongtian didn't have the initial joy of accepting him. Ah, it's all caused by Zixuan. If Zixuan doesn't appear, accepting Duobao as his disciple at this time will surely bring great joy to Tongtian. There's no way, the pearl is in front. Now that I see Duobao, Tongtian didn't feel satisfied at first. He always feels that Duobao is slightly inferior to Zixuan. However, in order to make up for Duobao, the leader of the Tongtian Sect also gave a good spiritual treasure as an apprenticeship gift to Duobao. Taishang Laojun and Yuan Shitianzuan also presented a meeting gift, among which Taishang Laojun took out a top-quality innate spiritual treasure as a meeting gift and gave it to Duobao. Although these rewards are slightly inferior to those of Zixuan, they are all good treasures. In this way, Duobao suddenly burst into tears and smiled, sweeping away the frustration just now. After all, Duobao loves treasures the most, which is the origin of his name. Thinking about this, Sanqing returned directly to Kunlun Mountain with Zixuan and Duobao. The location of Zixuan and Duobao was not far from Kunlun Mountain, so the five of them quickly arrived at Kunlun Mountain. Unleashing the restrictions on Kunlun Mountain, Sanqing entered the dojo with Zixuan and returned to his own cave. Duobao follows Tongtian and returns to Tongtian's cave. Duobao, since I have accepted you, I will do my best to cultivate you without any perfunctory heart, and my requirements for you are also very simple, that is to surpass Zixuan. Inside the cave, Tongtian said to Duobao. Although Tongtian admires Zixuan very much, it doesn't mean he will be willing to accept it. So Tongtian secretly made up his mind. He will cultivate Duobao well and then let Duobao surpass Zixuan. He wanted to show Zixuan how wrong it was not to choose to apprentice him. Regarding this, Duobao is also full of fighting spirit. For a while, the master and disciple began to practice. On the other hand, Zixuan also followed Taishang Laojun to the cave of Taishang. I believe you have made some breakthroughs before, so I will preach for you first to help you consolidate your realm, and then consider other things. In the cave, Laozi Taishang said to Zixuan. All the way back, he had already figured out how to help Purple Xian cultivate. Zixuan has just broken through 3 realms, from the early stage of the Golden Immortal to the complete completion of the Golden Immortal, only a line away from Tai Golden Immortal. So what Purple Xian needs most at this time is to consolidate his realm, so that he can fully consolidate the perfect cultivation of the Golden Immortal. In this way, Zixuan can pursue a higher realm. I listened to the teacher. Zixuan naturally had no reason to refuse this and quickly thanked him. Laozi Taishang nodded and immediately began preaching to Zixuan. For a moment, golden lotus bloomed in the Taishang cave, with various strange phenomena turning into golden lights. Time flies by in a hurry, 1,000 years pass in an instant. By the time the Taishang cave was opened again, Zixuan was already in the perfect realm of the Golden Immortal, completely standing firm and ready to challenge to higher realms at any time. This is the benefit of having a teacher. Based on the cultivation of Taishang Laojun Daoyuo Jingxian, he preached 1.1 to Zixuan, as if driving a direct train. Zixuan's perception of the realm has been elevated like a flying star. If practicing alone, Zixuan estimated that it would take 100,000 years of hard work to fully consolidate the perfect state of the Golden Immortal. Of course, there is also a credit for the improvement of Zixuan's qualifications here. Although Taishang Laojun can preach for him and help him understand the realm, it still needs to be understood by Zixuan himself. At this point, the role of qualification enhancement is reflected. Because Zixuan's qualification has changed from an ordinary Purple Lotus body to a 12-level Reincarnation Purple Lotus body, Zixuan's understanding of the Tao has also greatly improved. Most of the teachings of Taishang Laojun can be understood and digested by Zixuan, which is why this can quickly consolidate the realm. P.S. Seeking Collections, Various Seeks. Chapter 9. The Plate of Reincarnation, Purple Life Lotus Platform. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Leaving Laozi's cave in Taishang, Zixuan arrived at a nearby mountain range and chose a high mountain with abundant spiritual energy to directly open his own cave. After completing it, Zixuan directly threw out the purple lotus diagram and transformed it into a large formation, enveloping the high mountain. Afterwards, Zixuan entered his own cave and sorted out his situation. My physique is the innate reincarnation purple lotus Tao body, possessing the innate reincarnation energy and the characteristics of the 12th grade lotus platform. Zixuan murmured. During this millennium-long sermon, Zixuan not only gained insights but also studied his own situation. After fusing the Chaos Qinglian lotus seed and the innate cycle energy, Zixuan transforms into a 12th grade cycle purple lotus, possessing the characteristics of a 12th grade cycle purple lotus. For this reason, Zixuan comprehended two innate divine powers. The first divine power of one's own destiny is called the Wheel of Reincarnation. Zixuan murmured, pinching his fingers and imprinting the aura of reincarnation, which instantly appeared in his palm and transformed into a grinding wheel of reincarnation, capable of drawing beings into reincarnation and sending them back to life. This is a very domineering divine power that can directly destroy the enemy's life, send them into reincarnation, and enter the grinding wheel of reincarnation. Once the 6 paths of reincarnation are established in the future, Zixuan's plate of reincarnation can even manipulate the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation and directly destroy it. It is evident that this divine power is powerful. As for the second innate divine power, it is the Purple Lotus platform. Purple Xian combines his hands and mobilizes the power of the Lotus platform. In an instant, a Purple Lotus platform appeared at the feet of Zixuan, blooming in an instant. This is exactly the vision of the 12-rank reincarnation Purple Lotus. The Lotus platform is blooming, with amazing defense and inviolability. It can be said that with this innate divine power, Purple Xian is equivalent to a 12th grade Lotus platform, and no one can break the defense of the 12th grade Lotus platform. In this way, almost no one can harm Zixuan. To put it simply, the sum of these two innate powers is the 12th grade reincarnation Purple Lotus. 12th grade reincarnation Purple Lotus, sitting on the Lotus platform, with amazing defense, able to manipulate the power of reincarnation and interfere with it. This is the true face of Zixuan, and also his true reliance for the future. After becoming familiar with the divine power of his own destiny, Zixuan's gaze shifted to the innate spiritual treasure he had obtained. Now he has a total of 4 innate spiritual treasures on his body, namely the Purple Lotus diagram, the Reincarnation mirror, the off-ground flame light flag, and the purple-green sword. Among them, the innate reincarnation energy in the reincarnation mirror broke through the mirror and fused with the lotus seed, becoming the reincarnation purple lotus. Therefore, the reincarnation mirror has lost its effectiveness and is considered scrapped. As for the remaining purple lotus diagram, it is his companion spiritual treasure, a lower-grade innate spiritual treasure that can be transformed into a large formation, with the function of covering up body shape and breath, resisting enemy attacks, and protecting oneself. This can be considered an auxiliary type of spiritual treasure, and it has long been controlled by Purple Xian's refining. So the innate spiritual treasures on Zixuan's body are only the ground flame flag and the purple-blue sword. To be honest, these two treasures are also good treasures for Zixuan. The Ledi flame light flag is one of the innate 5-element flags, and is an excellent innate spiritual treasure. It has the effects of confusing yin and yang, reversing the 5 elements, avoiding evil, and preventing all kinds of invasions. It is a top-level treasure of defense type. The purple-green sword is much purer, just a pure attacking spiritual treasure that can release purple-blue dual-color lightning and has powerful attack power. 1 auxiliary, 1 defense, and 1 attack, perfectly meeting the current needs of Zixuan. At this point, Zixuan began to seclude and refine the innate restraint in the flame light flag and Ziqing sword that left the ground. Time flies by in a hurry, and 3,000 years pass in a blink of an eye. 3,000 years have passed, and Zixuan has also gained basic control over these 2 treasures. The ground flame light flag is an excellent innate spiritual treasure with 42 innate prohibitions inside, and it is not something that can be completely refined in the golden immortal realm. Purple Xian only refined the 12 innate prohibitions, and initially controlled the off-ground flame light flag, which can release some of the power of the off-ground flame light flag. As for the purple-blue sword, Purple Xian has completely refined it. Because the purple-blue sword belongs to the lower-level innate spiritual treasure, with only 10 innate prohibitions inside, it is easier to refine than the off-ground flame light flag. In this way, the 3 innate spiritual treasures in Zixuan's hand have finally been preliminarily controlled. It wasn't until then that Zixuan set her gaze on the remaining treasures. There is no need to say much about the dragon and phoenix vainly gold. This is a material for refining, and it is currently of no use. The remaining 2 items are the location information of the Honghuang purple qi rewarded by the system, as well as the source of Samadhi true fire. The first thing Zixuan checked was the information about Honghuang Ziki. This is a jade slip, placed at the center of the eyebrow. Zixuan immediately sensed a map. Map, it seems to be the location of that thing. Let me take a look. The direction indicated by the map is the East China Sea. Over the years, Zixuan has also traveled to some places, so it can be vaguely recognized that the direction indicated by the map in the jade slips is deep in the East China Sea. It seems that he needs to wait until he grows up, at least to be promoted to the realm of Daoyuo Golden Immortal, before he can go to the East Sea. Because in the depths of the East China Sea, there are also many old monsters that inhabit. If ordinary Golden Immortals break in, they will only bring disaster to themselves. Without full confidence, Zixuan will not easily step into the East China Sea. So Zixuan only has one thing left, which is to break through to the Tai Golden Immortal Realm as soon as possible and strive to arrive at the Daoyuo Golden Immortal Realm as soon as possible. P.S. Seeking Collections, Various Seeks. Chapter 10. 3 Flavors of True Fire, The Origin of Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Knowing that the Honghuang purple qi was deep in the East China Sea and could not be obtained for the time being, Zixuan temporarily let go of this matter and turned to look at the last treasure. That is a true source of Samadhi fire. The Samadhi true fire is one of the 10 primordial flames of the primordial realm, with the upper being the fire of the ruler, the middle being the fire of the minister, and the lower being the fire of the people. It is a symbolic flame of Taoism. Later generations such as Jiang Zia and Hong Haer have all used Sanwei Zhenhua, but their Sanwei Zhenhua can only be considered as pseudo-Sanwei Zhenhua, not real Sanwei Zhenhua. They are exhaled from the eyes, nose, and mouth, and are refined into the Samadhi of essence, Qi, and God. They are nurtured and separated from essence, and together with all fire, they form the true fire of the 3 flavors. However, even so, the pseudo-3 flavors of true fire used by Red Boy and others have the effect of killing demons and burning gods. The source of the 3 flavors true fire in Zixuan's hand now is the most primitive state of the 3 flavors true fire. Once thoroughly refined, one can definitely unleash even more powerful power, not to mention killing demons and burning gods. Even burning the sky and boiling the sea is not an exaggeration. That is to say, what I need to do now is to break through the perfect realm of the Golden Immortal, promote to the realm of the Tai Golden Immortal, and refine this 3 flavors true fire origin. After organizing the items on her body, Zixuan had a rough idea about the development that followed. To break through the realm of Tai Golden Immortal, one needs to determine their own path and control a source. Zixuan's followers are 12th-grade Reincarnation Purple Lotus, and the most suitable for Zixuan are the Path of Reincarnation and the Path of Plants and Trees. For Zixuan, as long as he becomes more familiar with his own divine powers, with time, he will definitely be promoted to the Tai Golden Immortal Realm. This is the benefit of having a high level of personal qualifications and a divine power of one's own destiny. It can be said that for Zixuan, promoting to the Tai Golden Immortal Realm is not difficult, all he needs is time. However, mastering a source requires a considerable amount of time, sometimes hundreds of thousands of years, or even hundreds of thousands of years. Zixuan is not sure how long it will take him to break through to the Tai Golden Immortal Realm. So Zixuan put aside this matter for the time being and prepared to first refine the origin of the three flavors of true fire. At this point, Zixuan began to refine the true source of the three flavors of fire. For a moment, Zixuan once again fell into a closed state. 2,000 years have passed in a hurry. 2,000 years later, one day, the terrifying force of calamity transformed into an endless cloud of calamity over Kunlun Mountain, startling Sanqing, who was currently in seclusion. Taishang Laojun, Yuan Shi Tianzun, and Tongtian Sect leader all broke through the levels and looked at the clouds of calamity in the sky. Jiayun. Big Brother is refining immortal pills. Yuan Shi Tianzun looked at Taishang Laojun in confusion. Previously, when Taishang Laojun was refining some special immortal pills, he would also attract Jiayun, but he had never seen such Jiayun before. No, this should be the tribulation cloud for the cultivator's promotion, not the tribulation cloud for the immortal pill crossing tribulation. Taishang Laojun shook his head slightly and looked at the Jiayun in the sky, saying, "Is it difficult?" Zixuan. Master Tongtian seems to have thought of something, slightly surprised. It's not a cloud of alchemy, but a cloud of promotion. They are all in the realm of the great Luo Golden Immortal in Sanqing. The primordial heavenly lord and the head of the Tongtian sect are both in the later stage of the great Luo Golden Immortal, and the Taishang Laojun is even more perfect. It's not easy for the three of them to get promoted, and the only ones left are Purple Xian and Duobao. Duobao has been following the leader of the Tongtian sect all along, and his progress is naturally clear to the leader of the Tongtian sect, far from reaching the level of promotion. That is to say, the person who is preparing to break through the realm at this time is likely to be Zixuan. At the thought of this, Master Tongtian was somewhat shocked. You should know that Zixuan had just broken through 3 realms before, and the last time he broke through was only 5 or 6,000 years since now. As a result, Zixuan is now breaking through again. 5 or 6,000 years of time, although it may seem like a lot, is enough to allow for the continuous replacement of ordinary dynasties, and can even be written into a historical record. But for the famine, 5 or 6,000 years is just a very short period of time. Many times, the time of the wasteland is calculated in units of 10,000 years. A cultivator who travels from the East China Sea to the west in a vast land takes far more than 10,000 years, which shows how short 5 or 6,000 years are. In such a short period of time, Zixuan surprisingly broke through again, preparing to break through to a higher level. For this reason, that's why the leader of the Tongtian sect was so shocked. You should know that before, Duobao and Zixuan broke through at the same time, but now Duobao has fully stabilized the mid-stage realm of the Golden Immortal and is far from the time to break through. In fact, this breakthrough was not as expected by Zixuan, it could be considered a coincidence. To break through the realm of Tai Golden Immortal, in addition to achieving complete cultivation, one also needs to determine one's own path and control a source. Cultivation and insight are the standards for promotion. It goes without saying that Zixuan's cultivation level is already at the limit of the Golden Immortal, as taught by Laozi Taiching and also taking pills refined by Taiching. The Taoists of Taiching are skilled in alchemy and often refine pills. As the only disciple of Taiching, Laozi's alchemy workshop is like the backyard of Zixuan. Zixuan can even use elixirs as food, so his cultivation naturally goes without saying, he has already reached the ceiling of the Golden Immortal. On the other hand, Zixuan originally planned to refine the origin of the three flavors of true fire, and then slowly comprehend the path of reincarnation, preparing to be promoted to the realm of Tai Golden Immortal. Unexpectedly, this three-flavored true fire is not only as simple as one of the 10 fundamental fires, but also contains the purest source of fire. So when refining the three flavors of true fire, Zixuan had a high understanding of the origin of fire. After completely refining the three flavors of true fire, Zixuan also controlled the origin of fire. For this reason, Zixuan began to advance, preparing to break through the shackles of the Golden Immortal and advance to the realm of Tai Golden Immortal. P.S. Seeking Collections, Various Seeks.